Welcome back to Combust Astrology. My name's Liv. I'm going to be going over the new moon for the 4th of August, 2024 at 7:12:49 a.m. So, new moon in Leo. Picture this. The main character walks onto the screen, stares directly at the camera, and breaks the fourth wall by saying, "Hello, everybody. Welcome to my movie." That is the new moon in Leo. Unequivocally, that is the essence. And who is the main character? All of us, you, me, my cat, my dog. They don't even exist, but they're my main characters because with this transit, there is a lot of delusion that you need to have. And in order to really, really maximize it, you gotta just roll with it. And it's gonna come across kind of crazy. But let's go ahead and jump directly into that with what I mean by that. So, Sun and Moon, Leo, that's the new moon in its essence. If you don't know that, a new moon is when the Sun and Moon are conjunct, and the sign that it's conjunct in is what the new moon is going to be about. And then we look at the aspects of everything else. So, right off the bat, two things that stick out is the trine to North Node. We have a sextile to Mars and Jupiter. And then those from there will kind of see how that also interacts. But that's the first two. And let's talk about that really. So the trine to the North Node in the ninth house, with the Chiron also being in the ninth house, this is really just, hey, nothing's going to stop my stardom. Nothing's going to stop me from getting there. And in fact, if I don't get there, I've lost the war. And I will learn everything I need to. I will go the distance in my education and my pursuit of knowledge to get there. Also, sextile between Jupiter and Mars here is, in a way, saying, hey, 3-degree orb for both sides. I'm right in between all the tools that I need, the abundance that I need, and I'm going to use people to make sure I get where I need to go. And not only that, but people are going to benefit me with that Jupiter and say, hey, like, let's help you. All right, I'm gonna play all these roles. I'm gonna have to be this and this, but I'll have the ability to learn it. Right, that's how that North Node comes into play as well. And so from there, we tackle some other aspects, which is the fact that Venus is at its 29th degree of Leo. Right, so as we start this, a Venus at 29th degree of Leo is about to become Virgo. And I look at this and I think to myself, this is saying that I've been the king. I am mentally the king or queen, um, or both, you know. Um, and I'm going to be going into servitude, servitude being Virgo. So I'm going to be paid what I'm owed because I help others, because I know what to do, because I know how to fit it in, right? Before this goes retrograde. It's quite literally, I believe, going to go retrograde the next day, I think. And we start to look at that and say, hey, this is exactly what I am. Also, the part of fortune is kind of cheeky there with the ascendant saying, hey, yeah, like the more of a center of attention that I am, the more I'm going to be rewarded. Um, Using lingo of this generation, slay, period. Yes, all of that. Right? That's the essence I get from the part of fortune with the ascendant. It's like, yeah, pay me what I'm owed. Because without me being here, no one would be here. No one. And my presence itself, yeah, my presence itself is going to change everything. And I'm going to make sure that you guys remember who I am. Because as I do that, more people will be attracted to this crazy, chaotic show. And so, one last thing, of course, is considering how the implications of these two, Pisces and Saturn, and Neptune and Saturn, are going to be affecting the whole rodeo. There's an in conjunction with Venus in Leo. Once again, I think that just adds to the delusion. And it really just says, hey, we can be we can be the perfect person, or we can be delusional about our reach. And this would be like an actor from Hollywood deciding they're going to uptake the whole well-being of a nation. Like, let's say, I don't know, whatever actor that you can think of decides they want to go to um, Hawaii and help restore some of the things from the forest fire that happened a while ago, right? And just being like, this is now my burden, right? But still making it center stage to you, and then still becoming servitude about it. And then to look at that as well, Saturn and Jupiter are in a square in this chart. Resources versus people, right? When you think about that, it's like you got to make sure you don't overdo it because while you are trying to be the star of the show here, when I think about this sextile and the way this creates, if you try to be too much the star of the show and you're trying to use as much resources as possible, it can probably cost you a bit. It can kind of show you what's the real budget versus what you want the budget to be, right? And not getting too caught up in the image of how it is that you're going to change things would be Neptune sextiling Uranus, both there being um, the delusion of consumption of media or the delusion of looking at yourself in the mirror and what you're actually doing with Uranus and Taurus. All in all, though, I still look at this and I say, hey, you know, I am different. I'm going to play all the roles and I'm going to make sure that everyone knows who I am with the roles, right? This is like starting a Finsta. If you don't know what that is, I learned it, not that much ago, so don't feel bad. But it's an Instagram that isn't your main Instagram account, but you just post things about it. Seems a little silly to me, just be yourself. But there are people that need to be professional, and then they just want to have themselves for their friends. And so this is kind of how do I juggle that versus what it is that's real? Am I going to get exposed about that, right? Now, with that being said, all in all, this energy to me is very core on I am the main character, and whether or not I make good or bad decisions, the play must go on. So, if I were to give any advice, not financial or legal, I would definitely say remember that while the world is your oyster, other people exist too. And if you're going to be the center stage, bring awareness to things that really matter and help others about it as well. So, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great new moon. And as always, see you next time.